Okay, level check. Just a level check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. It's meteorologist Steve Horstmeyer, almost ready to go live. All we got to do is start the weather computer, turn on the lights, and we will be going live here with our streaming weather show. All right, the weather computer is firing up. We've got under a minute until we hit that magic mark. And we'll talk weather for whoever is here that cares to listen. I hope most of you that have the ability to do that are outside enjoying the great weather. Okay, everybody, it's 7:15. Hi, I'm meteorologist Steve Horstmeyer, coming to you from the streaming center at Fox 19 Now. Been a great day. We've got a great Mother's Day weekend ahead, but we do have another kind of stormy, wet, warmer week ahead next week. Behind me, you can see what is our Clovernook Country Club camera. Now, earlier today, there were a few golfers out there, but not many. But at this time of the year, you begin to get more and more and more. We'll see quite a few golfers before this is over, I'm really sure. So that's what the Clovernook Country Club camera looked like. 65 degrees is the temperature at the International Airport. Here's the time lapse from the Newport on the Levee camera. And notice there's just really nothing to talk about. No clouds in the sky. You might see a few jet contrails up there, right there. But overall, that's it. A clear sky means a cool night because a lot of heat will escape to space pretty quickly overnight. And we are in for a pretty nice weekend with a little chilly start in the morning. So here's our Turfway Park camera. They turn on the lights. You see the horses scurrying out there, but again, from this position, you don't see any clouds either. And look at those shadows change direction and grow as the sun gets lower and lower in the sky. And we stop right there at 7:16 p.m. Okay, so what's going on here is all this blue does not really impact the Fox 19 Now viewing area. It just touches Highland and Adams counties, and that is a frost advisory. Okay, and even though it's not in effect for any of our areas, there will be temperatures that will be cool enough from Clinton into Highland and the northern Adams counties that some of the valleys may get a little tinge of frost, not a killing frost. And even as far south as Lewis County, some of those valleys that collect that cool air may very well end up chilly enough for a little touch of frost. So that is in effect until 8 a.m. tomorrow, but does not include any of the viewing area that we are any of the Fox 19 Now viewing area. However, there could be a few spots with a little bit of frost. And if you look at this, there's really not much coming our way. There's a large area of nothing going on, and actually the next weather maker is going to come from down here. So what will happen, this high, thin cloud cover is going to work its way north, and we'll see a few high, thin clouds over the weekend, but still thin enough that we can call it mostly sunny and no problems whatsoever for Mother's Day itself. All right, low temperatures this morning. Look at that. Richmond, Indiana hit 37, and then Batesville, Springboro, Washington Courthouse, Chillicothe, Wilmington all dropped to 41. Now, if those airport thermometers hit 41, it's conceivable that it's valleys in the area. Okay, and remember what we do. We call it cold air drainage. On a clear night, the ground radiates heat to space more quickly than the air does, so the ground ends up cooler than the air. It absorbs heat from the air, okay, and then the air that's right in touch with the ground is colder and more dense than the air above it, so it just kind of flows downhill. It collects in the valleys. We call that cold air drainage. And so if you've got 41 degrees at Washington Courthouse's airport or 41 at Wilmington, some of the valleys in the environments surrounding those, more than likely, little doubt, in the 30s, and may even seen a patch or two of light frost, but nothing big. And the same thing will happen in the morning, just a little bit chillier tomorrow morning. Okay, so here's a quick look ahead. Mother's Day weekend looks mostly sunny, both Saturday and Sunday. Kind of a chilly start, though. Next week, warmer and wetter. And then we do have that threat of some severe storms Tuesday and then Friday into Saturday. Now, when I say this, we're not forecasting severe weather yet. We're saying that all the elements have to come together, but it looks like all the elements will be very close to coming together Tuesday, Friday into Saturday. And we do have that chance maybe for some severe storms then, and we'll keep an eye on it and let you know ahead of time. If you happen to be a soccer fan and you head down to FC Cincinnati's match Saturday at 7:30 p.m. at TQL Stadium, temperatures drop from the upper 60s for the march to 59 by the time the match comes to an end. So cool, pleasant evening for soccer. And then the forecast for Mother's Day itself, down to about 50 for the low, but 65 at 9 a.m., 70 at 12 p.m., 3 p.m. about 75 degrees. And there you see it. Temperatures everywhere right now at weather stations in the 60s. The coolest is 60 at Blue Creek. And I think that's the coolest. There's only one at 60. And then airport temperatures look like this: 61 in Chillicothe and Washington Courthouse and Wilmington. Everybody else a little bit warmer than that, but all the airports in the 60s. Okay, so here's a look ahead. Now this starts at 3:40 a.m. Notice the high thin cloud cover out there. I think the model's got it a little bit too far north, but as we head through the weekend, Sunday at 1 p.m., just some high thin cloud cover, still a really nice day. And then Monday we get shower activity. As we head into Tuesday, more showers and thunderstorms develop. Tuesday could see some severe storms. As we head into Wednesday, some more showers and thunderstorms. As we head into Thursday, just a few in the area, maybe a little bit of a break in the rain. And then as we head on into Friday, another chance for some shower and thunderstorm activity that could be strong to severe. Okay, this evening we're looking at temperatures dropping to 51 by 11 p.m. It's currently 65 at the International Airport, so a 14-degree temperature drop. Overnight, look for a low right around 43 degrees. And that means some outlying areas, especially valleys, down into the 30s, and maybe an itty-bitty little bit of light frost in some spots. So if you have to get up and go somewhere in the morning, that morning commute looks like this: dry roads, skies clear to partly cloudy, chilly with temperatures in the mid-30s and some valleys to the mid-40s in city centers. Okay, here is the new forecast from the Climate Prediction Center. And excuse me for a second, I've got to wet my throat a little bit here, so give me a second. Okay, you can see that the Climate Prediction Center is saying that from the 15th to the 19th of May, warmer than normal in the Fox 19 Now viewing area. Notice how far south that much warmer than normal, that darker red goes. So we still are warmer than normal. That's the average temperature by the 23rd of May, but we are cooling off a little bit, and we'll look at that in the forecast in just a minute. And then the brand new, this came out this afternoon, the 3 to 4 week outlook, which goes to the 4th of June, says temperatures will be near normal. So if you take the high temperature for every one of those days and the low temperature for every one of those days, you can take the average is going to be near normal for this time of year. Okay, rainfall-wise, May 15th to 19th, a little bit more than normal. May 17th to 23rd, still a little bit more than normal. And the 3 to 4 week outlook calls for a little bit more precipitation than normal here in the Fox 19 Now viewing area. And not considerably. We're not looking at days and days and days of heavy rainfall. We're just looking at somewhat above normal precipitation. Okay, and that takes us out to the 4th of June. All right, so your 7-day forecast looks like this. And by the way, this is a tree, not in my backyard, but my neighbor's backyard earlier today. The wind, you'll see the wind pick up here in a few seconds. As I first shot this video, the wind was pretty calm. There it comes, right there. The wind's beginning to pick up a little bit. So it was kind of a nice breezy day out there. So your 7-day forecast looks like this. Look for a low tonight of 43 with many rural areas in the 30s. 70 the high tomorrow. Lots of sunshine. FC Cincinnati play. Should be a great Saturday evening for soccer. Mother's Day, a low of 50, a high of 71, really could not be 75, really could not be that much better. 55 and 73 with Monday with a few showers coming in. The Reds are back in town playing on Tuesday. The eyeball is there because we have to watch for the possibility of severe storms. Okay, again, we're not forecasting them yet. It's not a sure thing. It's looking like Tuesday could bring that chance if all the elements come together. So the eyeball is there. Lingering showers for Wednesday and again Thursday. And then Friday, steamy sunshine, but late in the day on into Saturday, we might see some additional shower and thunderstorm activity. And the eyeball's there because that too could end up being on the severe side. Okay, now we go to beyond the 7-day forecast, and it looks like showery weather for that 7-day period. High temperatures cool from 80 the first day, and they gradually cool to below normal. Morning lows stay about normal. And so a showery warm 7 days through the 23rd of May. And here's the graphic which kind of summarizes the temperatures all in one image. Highs and lows put on the normal high temperature line, the normal low temperature line, and you see that we do cool off to below normal on the high temperature side by the 18th, and we cool off below normal towards the end on the low temperature side. So if you would average those out, what the Climate Prediction Center was saying, if you average those out, you end up near normal or slightly warmer than normal, depending upon your exact location. So overall, looks like we've got some great weather this weekend, some weather which could be showery and could bring some interruptions to your outdoor plans next week. And we start off the month of June, it looks like, with a little bit more precipitation than normal and temperatures near normal. All right, let me see if there's anybody here on Facebook. All right, we do have a few people watching. Susan Wally says, hi, Steve, what a beautiful day. You're not kidding. Susan, I took, the way we do it, we've got 10 dogs. One really is older with arthritis and can't walk much. But my wife takes 2 of the dogs on a 5-mile walk and then comes back and takes the 3 little ones. We've got a couple Chihuahua mixes and that, and takes them on like a 2-mile walk. It's a lot. That's a big distance for little legs. And then I get up a little bit later and I do 2 3-mile walks. I take 2 dogs at a time. And so they all loved it. I mean, it was great with the breeze out there. The humidity wasn't high. It wasn't too warm. So we had a great time. Richard actually says, when are we going to break this cool pattern and keep it warm? Well, it is going to start getting warmer, as I showed you on the forecast, and it's actually behind me, let me see here. Yeah, so it's actually behind me here. So as we head to the middle of the month, we climb to above normal and stay there for a while, but then we go back down to a little bit below normal. However, here is the low temperature, 43. Okay, Richard, so we've got 43 tomorrow morning, but we don't have anything cooler than 50 after that for a low temperature right on into the 23rd. So even though we're not going into the 80s and staying in the 80s for a while yet, afternoons will be mild, mornings will be fairly mild to warm, and so once we get past tomorrow morning, it looks like it's much warmer both on the high and the low side for a while. But again, just slightly below normal. I mean, well, it's 7 degrees below normal right there. So we're not going to warm up into summer-like weather yet, but we're going to say goodbye to the chilly mornings after tomorrow morning. Okay, what else? Let me see who else is here. Yeah, that's right, Richard. Richard says, holy cow, more rain next week? Yeah, I'm afraid so. It just doesn't. How are all my dogs doing? They're all okay. They like this kind of weather. They love getting up in the morning and walking. And typically what we do is when it gets to really hot and humid weather, I mean, even 75 and the dogs are like, that fur coat, we often just go to the dog park and let them run until they lay down and just relax. But we do it in the early mornings. Joshua John says, hello or good afternoon. Hi, Joshua. Scott Williams says he's ready to break out his golf clubs. Maybe this weekend. This would be a good weekend for it. Now, if you go out too early tomorrow morning, it's going to be kind of chilly, but both days should be great, Scott. So if you go out, I hope you get a hole in one. Okay. Mary Warren says, done with all this rain. I would love to see a whole week without any rain. You and me both. Now, you know what's happening here. They haven't had much rain this week, and the Reds are out of town. The Reds come back into town, and every single day has the threat of rain. And that just, since we're the official weather provider for the Reds, that just keeps us so super busy. Oh, gosh, jeez. I am sorry. Okay, Brenda Smith said it's not on Roku TV. I apologize, Brenda. Once again, there's 2 buttons right here that I keep forgetting to push. I don't know why, but it'll be on Roku TV anytime now. Okay. And then, okay, so Brenda, I don't know if you can see me yet or how long it takes for it to get through the system to Roku, but I'll go back over the forecast starting with, well, let's see here. I'll tell you what, since I forgot to hit those buttons and I cheated you out of what you were hoping to get, I will go back to the current temperatures and I'll just run through the whole thing once again. So that you can see what's going on. Okay, so here are the 7 p.m. temperatures at local airports, and they're all in the 60s now. Nobody has slipped into the 50s yet, but hey, Richmond, Wilmington, Washington Courthouse, Chillicothe, mighty close to the 50s already. And those areas, the areas you see there, Wilmington to Springboro to Washington Courthouse to Chillicothe, all the way down into Lewis County, have the chance of getting a little bit of frost overnight tonight. So the cloud cover you see there, you know, the models don't have the resolution that the satellite loops do. So the cloud cover, when it's high, thin stuff, looks pretty thick. So this cloud cover you see here looks pretty thick, but it's that high, thin stuff. It's so thin that during the day, you can't look at the sun because the sun's still too bright. And at night, you can barely see it at all. So don't let that worry you if you see that cloud cover coming our way. So we get high, thin clouds over the weekend for both Saturday and Sunday. But lots of sunshine. The weather looks great for both days. Monday, we begin to see shower activity, and here's what I mean by a showery week. Okay, so Monday, showers. Tuesday, they reform in the warmer part of the day. Wednesday, there you see them popping up again in the warmer part of the day. Thursday, maybe just a few. Thursday may be the driest day of the next 7, to tell you the truth, of the next 7 starting Monday. Saturday and Sunday are the weekend. And then Friday, this is saying no rainfall, but some of the models are putting the chance of severe storms in here Friday into Saturday, so we're going to keep that in mind. Okay, 65 right now, dropping to 51 by 11 p.m. So if you're about to head out the door, keep it in mind that if you're out past 11 o'clock, it's going to be kind of chilly because look at the wind, northeast at 8. That would push the wind chill into the 40s, so it's probably, most people would consider that jacket weather. And then overnight, winds do become calm. We have lows in the 40s, and you notice these icons right here. It's kind of subtle. Right in here, that indicates fog. So a number of the models are saying there might be some patchy river valley fog in parts of the tri-state. Not everywhere, but in spots. Okay, so roads will be dry, clear to partly cloudy tomorrow morning. If you're going out early, it'll be chilly. Temperatures ranging from the mid-30s to the mid-40s, and again, you could see a patch of fog in some of the stream valleys. Climate Prediction Center says warmer than normal from the 15th to the 19th, warmer than normal, but not quite as warm, 17th through the 23rd, and that's the average temperature. And if you take a look at the 3 to 4 week outlook, that takes us to the 4th of June. Can you believe it? We're talking about June already. Temperatures near normal, okay? So no heat wave in evidence yet. Precipitation a little bit above normal. A little bit above normal again through the 23rd of May, and then a little bit above normal through the 4th of June. So the two things we are not seeing in any of the long-term models, any indication of a big heat wave and no indication of a drought returning. Of course, those things could develop later on, but right now we're not looking at that happening. Okay, so here's your 7-day forecast. Okay, 7-day forecast, 43 tonight, 70 tomorrow, comfortable sunshine. Great for FC Cincinnati's match at TQL Stadium, 50 and 75 for Mother's Day. Lots of sunshine. Again, those high, thin clouds. Monday, it looks like some showers coming in the afternoon. Tuesday, the Reds are back in town playing. They're actually back in town Monday, but they don't play till Tuesday. With scattered thunderstorms on Tuesday, the eyeball's there because a few of those storms could be strong to severe, and we may have to make it a first alert weather day. A lingering shower or two on Wednesday, a slim chance of rain on Thursday, and then steamy sunshine Friday. But Friday night into Saturday, we might be seeing what could turn into another severe weather episode. So the eyeball's there because that too could become a first alert weather day. And at this point, both these days are iffy, okay? Because a severe weather situation requires everything to come together just right, and this is a little bit too far out in the future to pin down every one of those elements. Okay, so beyond the 7-day forecast, looks like this. High of 80 on Saturday, and then notice what happens. Temperatures fall off into the low 70s for highs. Lows stay in the 50s. So we're out of frost territory by a long shot, but we're not into really warm summer-like weather either. So we are again talking about a cooling trend and showery weather next week through the 23rd. And here's what the next 14 days look like with high and low temperatures plotted on one graph. And we compare them to normal. So the high temperatures have a nice little bump upward there above normal with 3 days in a row in the 80s and dropping off to below normal for a good 1, 2, 3, 4, 6-day stretch. And then the low temperatures, the last really chilly low on this 14-day outlook is tomorrow morning. That's where that blue thermometer is. Okay, and then basically it stays above normal for a while, and then just towards the last few days begins to drop to or a little bit below normal in the tri-state. And so on the average, we're going to end up with what the Climate Prediction Center would term a near normal temperature-wise 2 weeks. All right, let me check one more time, see if there's any more comments on Facebook. And again, I apologize to the people who were trying to watch on Roku, and I can only blame myself. I didn't push the button, so it's my bad. So I went back over the stuff so you could see it. And Brenda Smith says it is on now on Roku. So Brenda, but thank you very much for letting me know. And Richard actually says, I know you can't wait till your retirement. You know what? I'm getting kind of anxious because, you know, by the time I retire, I'll be 72. I hit 72 in early August. And last week, we had the Reds in town. We had 5 rain delays. We had a game postponed to the next day, so we had a doubleheader to deal with, and one of those games had some rain delays. We had 3 first alert weather days. We had 3 days with the possibility of severe weather. It just takes a lot out of you, even if you're a young man. And I can still do it. I still like doing it. But I think it's time that I just spend more time with my dogs, more time with my wife, putter around the house, keep the garden and the yard clean, and ride my bike and take some photographs. And that's what I plan on doing. So yeah, Richard, I can't wait. But what I've told the station here, I've told them that, you know, like meteorologist Jeff Creighton does this for us too. He comes back in and works, and he actually worked so much the past couple months that we were going to give him a unretirement, we call it an unretirement party. But Jeff Creighton plans on continuing to fill in when necessary, and I'm going to help out too. So I won't be here as often as you're used to seeing me, but I'll still be around. It's kind of hard to give up what you've been doing all your adult life, you know, especially if you like it. Yeah, Donna, I'm sorry. I've got to retire. Time to kick back a little bit. Yeah, Melvin says, hey, it's going to be nice tomorrow and it's Mother's Day. Absolutely, Melvin. Thank you, Michelle. Okay, Donna Coffee, when do I retire? My last day of work right now is scheduled to be the 28th of August. Okay, and I'll tell you the story. Originally, my retirement was the 13th of March, and then meteorologist Ashley Smith left and found another job. And it takes a while to fill that position, so while we were looking for a new meteorologist, I delayed my retirement. Then Frank Marzullo left the station, and I told him I would stay on till the, how'd that work out? Yeah, I was going to originally stay on, instead of the 13th, I was going to stay until the end of May, and then when Frank left, I told them I would stay on until the end of August, and so they can get all their ducks in a row. So we have one more person to hire. We've hired Erin Ashley. She's a native of Milford, went to Milford High School, also went to Ohio University to get her meteorology degree like Ethan Emery did, and does a great job. I have all the faith in the world in her, so you'll see more and more of her. And then we also hired Brad Mousehart. You might remember Brad years ago. He was at Channel 9 for a while. Then he went to Channel 12. He wanted a break from the TV routine and was working for the weather company, the ones that supply our weather computers. And so he was training people. He was training people like us to do the new software and all that. And then he decided to move back. He had moved to Florida, moved back from Florida and come back home. He's from Southern Indiana. And so we've got him, and we're really glad because Brad, smart guy, really knows his stuff, presents the weather really clearly so you know exactly what he's saying. So we've got one more person to hire, and I don't know where that's going at this point. So that's it. Thank you for joining me. Enjoy the weekend. To all the mothers out there, happy Mother's Day. And for those of you that are going to see your mothers this weekend, give them a kiss. Tell your mom you love her. And remember, because moms do a lot for their kids. It's hard to believe how much work a mother puts in to raise a kid and get that child to adulthood. So don't forget Mom on Mother's Day. Have a good weekend.